For more than 50 years, Westbury Christian School has served students from age 3 to 12th grade as a Christ-centered college preparatory school. This vibrant community reflects the kingdom, faithful, wise, and diverse, where every student is personally known by their peers and teachers. With strong academics plus opportunities in clubs, athletics, fine arts, leadership, and spiritual growth, Westbury Christian prepares students for life here and for eternity. Check out westburychristian.org/citycast to see upcoming admissions events like coffee talks and campus tours. Today on CityCast Houston, State-appointed Superintendent Mike Miles announced a major move to limit media coverage of the district. Plus, why are so many 18-wheelers hitting the Houston Avenue Bridge? You won't believe how many it's been this year. Cron.com's Gwen Howerton joins me to break down those stories and more. It's Tuesday, October 7th. I'm Raheel Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. Gwen, there have been so many issues with HISD and communications from the start. This is year 3 of the takeover, and Superintendent Mike Miles has released a new plan that will limit all outside media coverage of the district because they are now creating an HISD news team that will cover the district and put out newscasts on their YouTube channel. Allison Ackerman of Cron.com, your colleague, got a hold of this internal memo highlighting HISD's new plan because of challenges posed by misinformation and the viral nature of social media content. Gwen, is the district citing misinformation the correct thing, or do you think they're doing this more because they want positive coverage? What is happening with this HISD news team?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you always want to celebrate journalism jobs being created and not eliminated, right? But yeah, it definitely seems like this is a response to coverage, not that just, my colleague Ali has done, but the Chronicle, the Houston Landing, when they were around, the TV stations, this is a theme that Miles has cited time and time again. He had a big LinkedIn post, I think last week or the week before, complaining about media coverage, right? And so this is essentially in response to what he sees as, not enough positive coverage of HISD's strides in test scores or whatever that he would like covered. So this is very bizarre to me.
Yeah, and this has always been a big thing. Like, he has joined us on CityCast Houston for a few years now to talk about all the issues going into the school year. And, we would highlight the positive stuff, but we would press him on all the negative stuff that is coming out from the state's takeover. And he has been so open about everything. That's why it was a shock to me that they're making this move, because he answered every question. Now, he might not have given the answer that people wanted to hear, but he answered them. So this was kind of a shock that they are going this way. And here's the thing that's going to happen. Gwen, the numbers are going to come out regardless of who puts them out there, because by law, they have to put out test scores. They have to put out certain numbers, right? Because again, this is public education.
Yeah.
And when there are big firings or layoffs, the teachers union will put those numbers out. Teachers will leak that information. What exactly are they doing to combat negative stories? Because the information is going to get out there. These are just numbers and facts.
Yeah. And I would also say that the fact that somebody sent this document to us is proof of that, right? That there are people, I think, inside of HISD who are probably, not too thrilled about this either, I would imagine. And yeah, like you said, it's a public school district. These are public schools that are theoretically accountable to taxpayers. So it's the numbers are going to come out either way. And I guess in HISD's case, Mike Miles has decided that it is better for him to control that narrative than, discuss that openly and honestly with the public. And again, as somebody who, I don't have kids in public school, but just kind of as a person who kind of watches this, you have to really wonder if this is going to build trust in the district. And I would guess probably not. And like you said, he's done tons of interviews before, been pretty accessible in the past. So It's a very bizarre shift to me.
Yeah, and I want to expand on what this news coverage is going to be like. So they have this new YouTube channel called HISD Now. They're going to hire reporters and treat it like a newsroom focused on HISD stories. So I'm sure they'll be highlighting schools, teachers, students, and then putting out information from the school. And other districts do this, by the way. So I just want to be very clear
Yeah.
about this. Like, I've spoken at Sci-Fair's Media Awards at the end of the year, and they have a news channel where students and faculty are working with the district to put out news information. They could have easily just gone on with this plan without putting out this internal memo, and things would have been okay. Now you just have this big story about how HISD is just trying to control the narrative. Like, another miscommunication and another misstep. It's so wild.
Yeah, and I would say that this is something I think about a lot, right? In that I think you're seeing this with lots of places, not just school district, as like trust in media kind of hits an all-time low. You're seeing a lot of institutions, whether it's public schools, whether it's police, whether it's whatever, right, are kind of like turning to these in-house media operations to kind of get around what they see as press that in their mind is too biased, but what is biased, right? And so it's very interesting to see HISD take this route. Make sure to like and subscribe to HISD.
I can't wait to see Mike Miles with the YouTube plaque when they cross 50,000 subscribers. That would be something. That would be definitely something. Okay, another thing that caught my eye, I have seen trucks hit bridges all the time on social media, like videos. You see it all the time, and you're just like, whoa, what is this driver doing? I didn't know it was this bad on the Houston Avenue Bridge on I-10 that it has been hit 70 times, Gwen, since the
Oh my
start of the
gosh.
year. 70 times, according to KHOU. And it has been hit once again. Last month, it was hit 3 times in just a span of a week. And here we are on Monday morning. It was hit once more. What the heck is going on, Gwen?
I have to confess that obviously you never want to see traffic accidents or anything that's going to endanger people's lives. But to me, it's almost like when that big shipping container boat got stuck in the Suez Canal or in the Panama, it's like part of you wants to see what's going to keep happening. I have to confess, I don't drive. So I don't know what the problem with this bridge is, but yeah, 70 times is insane.
It's not the bridge. The bridge can't do anything about it. The bridge has a height posted like, hey, this is how tall I am. And also TxDOT, because there were so many incidents happening with this bridge, they even put like a warning system. So when a really big truck gets near it, like these warning lights go off, and still drivers are hitting it. And TxDOT is saying that there are a lot of improperly permitted truck drivers who are driving and not familiar with the height requirements or the limits. And that is why this is happening. And that makes more sense because how do you do that? 70 times is nuts.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
Gwen, can we also give it up for the Houston Avenue Bridge? How is it still standing? Because being hit 70 times, you would think there would be so much damage that it would not be there. But yet there it is. And yeah, shout out to the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, people always say in an airplane crash that they should make the whole airplane out of the black box. But I would say we should build the airplane out of whatever the Houston Avenue Bridge is built out of.
Well, you might be able to grab all of that stuff that's made out of because due to the expansion that is happening in the area, they are going to tear down that bridge. TxDOT is in 2027. So I want to put this out there. How many more times will it be hit before 2027?
Get your licks in if you're a truck driver. You can tell that everybody who writes about this is having fun now because the lead of all of these stories is it happened again. It's a little funny.
Yeah, it's redefining Houston strong, the Houston Avenue Bridge.
Yeah, the Houston Avenue strong.
Avenue Bridge strong. All right, when we get back, we have a new candidate who has entered his hat into the primary for Senator John Cornyn's seat, plus a new center in Montrose that is getting a lot of headlines. If you're anything like me, then you're always looking for design inspiration, and one way to get that is during the 2025 AIA Houston Home Tour. From October 18th through the 19th, this self-guided tour gives you the rare chance to step inside some of the city's most stunning custom homes, all crafted by some of Houston's top architects. Whether you're dreaming up your own perfect space or just love exploring amazing designs like I do, this tour is a must. Each home is a masterpiece, showcasing the collaboration between homeowners, architects, and builders. And the best part, you can chat with the architects right there on site, so you can get tips, ask questions, and soak up all the creative vibes, so maybe you can start designing that perfect space in your home. Don't miss out on this unique experience. To learn more or grab your tickets, just head over to aiahouston.org. That's aiahouston.org. Mark your calendars, October 18th through the 19th for the AIA Houston Home Tour. You won't want to miss it. It's time for the Bayou City Art Festival in Memorial Park, all weekend long from October 10th through the 12th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Houston's iconic art festival will transform Memorial Park into a vibrant outdoor art gallery and interactive experience while showcasing the works of more than 250 artists. There's so much to do, including purchasing one-of-a-kind art, jewelry, functional art, and so much more at all price levels. And there's more than just art. You can enjoy live entertainment, food trucks, an active imagination zone for guests of all ages, and a craft beer and wine garden. Early bird tickets are $18 for adults and $5 for children ages 6 through 12 at BayouCityArtFestival.com. But act fast because adult tickets purchased after October 1st are $20, and physical tickets will not be sold at the gate, so grab yours in advance online. You can also enjoy the festival in their VIP hospitality lounge with VIP tickets. Again, to find out more and get tickets, go to BayouCityArtFestival.com. All right, Gwen, let's do some lightning round. I've got some stories here for you that I want to talk about, and let's start with the big story in the Republican primary for Senator John Cornyn's seat. We just got another player to enter that race, and that is Houston area Representative Wesley Hunt. He has announced his bid for that seat, and now the primary, which is going to be next March, is a packed field. You've got, of course, Senator John Cornyn, who is trying to recapture that seat one more time. And then Ken Paxton is in the hunt as well, no pun intended, for that primary. This is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, this is, again, I keep using the word bizarre, but this has been one of the stranger, Texas politics stories to me because, prior to this, Wesley Hunt was posting a lot of really strange videos on social media where, he'd be on stage or whatever, and it would just be like, it's time. And then it wouldn't say what it was time for. So I guess this is what it was time for. But yeah, this is very strange to me. I'm not sure why he's doing this, quite honestly.
Yeah, and John Cornyn, his media team was throwing some shade at Wesley Hunt, saying that this guy doesn't even have statewide fame. Nobody knows him outside of the Houston area. And Representative Wesley Hunt is a staunch MAGA Republican. He is all on board. So now it's like a battle for who is going to get that endorsement from President Trump, right?
Yeah, and you have to kind of wonder, at least in my mind, what primary voters will make of all of this, because obviously you have Ken Paxton, who is the big, MAGA candidate here, kind of running to John Cornyn's right. You have John Cornyn himself, every press release and ad I see, he's hugging President Trump in it. And then you have Wesley Hunt, and it kind of at a certain point makes you wonder, why you would vote for Wesley Hunt if you have Ken Paxton right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be very interesting, not only who will get President Trump's endorsement, but kind of what this turns the primary into. Because I would say that this now increases the likelihood of this going to a runoff. And honestly, making it easier, not easier, right? Any Democrat is going to have an uphill battle facing any of these candidates. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see, who comes out of this primary and how bruised they are coming out of it next March.
Yeah, because they will be taking shots at each other. There are going to be a lot of attack ads from within the Republican Party with these three candidates. And I'm glad you brought the Democrats. Jeremy Wallace, who reported the story for the Houston Chronicle, laid out what's happening on that side as well. We know that U.S. Representative Colin Allred is running once more for senator, and then State Rep James Tallarico, who is a hot name right now, he already announced his bid. So the primary is loaded. And then you've got retired Houston astronaut Terry Virts, who is also in that primary. So the Democrats, that primary is going to be interesting too. And I don't know, is there like anybody else who's going to announce? Because this is a packed field on both sides.
If you pay attention to politics, you are going to be made insane for the next however many months till the primary.
Yeah.
I got a story here that will probably be interesting. I wrote about last week that the huge Ismaili Muslim Center in Montrose is going to open, I think, next month is what I was told.
Yeah, opening up in November. And I am an Ismaili Muslim, and I'm proud of it. I talk about it a lot. And I saw your story, and I reached out to you immediately, like, thank you so much for covering this. You did such a great job of just laying out the context of how big this Ismaili Center is, first of its kind here in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, this is so interesting to me as somebody who lives close to this. But yeah, when it opens in November, it's going to be 150,000 square feet, of this gigantic religious center. And, it'll have green space. It's going to have like an art gallery, a library. They're going to have obviously like a center, places for worship and things like that. But it really is just this like gigantic community center. There's really nothing like it in Houston. And what I found so interesting about this, because like, to be totally honest with you, I am not Muslim. Like, this is not something I know a ton about, but I really had no idea, how many Ismaili Muslims like there are in Texas, in the US. And like you said, this is the first one in the US. But I was just fascinated by this because there's only 7 centers like this around the world.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious how you feel about this as a member of this, religion yourself.
I'm so proud. This is something that we've been waiting for. And when it was announced a few years ago under the previous Aga Khan, who is our spiritual leader, we were celebrating. Like, this is such an iconic center that's going to be right here in Houston. And Houston, as you mentioned, we have a huge population of Ismaili Muslims, the biggest in the nation. All right, like up to 40,000 is the number that is estimated. And this is going to be such an amazing place to bridge gaps between communities, bridge gaps between religions. This is going to be a place of worship, of course, but as you mentioned, this is more for everyone in Houston. Like, there are going to be a lot of events where anybody can attend. You don't have to be an Ismaili. Now, the worship part of it, yeah, you have to be Ismaili, so that's where prayers are going to take place. But otherwise, this is open to everyone, and that is the big thing with the Ismaili community. We want to bring people together. So this is going to serve as a center. I've been to the one in Toronto. It is so beautiful. We would just hang out there all day when I went up there to visit my sister, because they have a museum on one side and then they've got the religious side on the other. And then in between, there's a lot of green space. There's a place to hang out. And we would just spend time there. They have a cafe on site. So it's really cool. I've gone to the one in Dubai as well, and it's the same thing. It's a place for community to gather. So I'm excited. I can't wait to be a part of it and just see other people, see other Houstonians there. And, it's something that is so Houston, where we want to all be together. We want to celebrate each other, and this would be a place to do it. All right, I've got one more story here, and check this out. Council member Tiffany Thomas actually sent us a voice message about an upcoming event that she wanted the Houston community to know about. So take it away, Council member Tiffany Thomas.
Hi, this is Houston City Council member Tiffany D. Thomas, and I want to invite you to the second annual Faith and Affordable Housing Summit on Saturday, October 11th at 8 a.m. at the Kingdom Builders Center on West Orem. You'll hear from leaders from Texas First Bank, Enterprise Community Partners, and the Houston Housing and Community Development Department. The city can't do it alone, and we need all hands on deck. So if you're a faith leader or a nonprofit interested in development, or if you simply want to know more about the city's down payment assistance program, this summit is for you. For more information, contact District F at houstontx.gov.
Or you can check out the link in our show notes if you want to learn more and register for the event. But Gwen, I'm so happy that Councilmember Tiffany Thomas, who is the chair of the Housing and Affordability Committee, is doing events like these, because affordability has been a big topic here on CityCast Houston. Houston's just not as affordable as it once was, Gwen. It just is not. And we have to take steps. And as Councilmember Thomas pointed out, it can't just be the city. The city needs help in this. So I'm glad there are events like this going on.
Yeah, I mean, that was the draw of Houston for a long time, right? Is like, it is an affordable big city. And it feels like a lot of, just like a lot of other places in Texas, it is not as affordable as it used to be. I mean, rent burden is real everywhere here in Houston. It's no exception. I mean, I think that's why you're seeing a lot of explosive growth in suburbs too, right? Like, people are just moving out there because these new housing developments that they're building out there, whether it's apartments or suburbs, are just way more affordable than it is to live in the city.
Yeah, it really is. And this is a great event to take that step to figure out affordability, especially when it comes to housing here in the city of Houston. Thank you so much, Councilmember Tiffany Thomas, for sending us a voice message about this event. Okay, when we get back, we're going to do Only in H-Town. And the Houston strong spirit that we always celebrate came up huge for an indie rock band who had a show here in H-Town. This show is brought to you by Wise, the app for international people using money around the globe. With Wise, you can send, spend, and receive up to 40 currencies with only a few simple taps, and save up to 55% compared to major banks. Plus, Wise won't add hidden fees to your transfer. Whether you're buying souvenirs with pesos in Puerto Vallarta or sending euros to tip your Coliseum tour guide, you know you're getting a fair exchange rate with no extra markups. That's what makes Wise the fast, affordable way to use your money around the globe. Wise also offers 24/7 live support, and they run over 7 million daily checks to catch and prevent fraud, so you know your money is where it's supposed to be. Be smart. Join the 15 million customers who choose Wise. Download the Wise app today or visit wise.com. Terms and conditions apply. All right, Gwen, we're going to end with Only in H-Town. Stories that are so uniquely H-Town. They can be wacky, funny, and uplifting. I've got two stories here for you. We'll start with the good one first, the uplifting one. Have you heard of the band Passion Pit?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was alive in the 2010s.
Yeah, I love them. My wife and I would go to Passion Pit shows as much as we could. They would play Texas so much, whether it be at ACL or here in the city of Houston. We loved them. We didn't have a chance to go to their show over the weekend because now with two kids, it's a little bit harder getting to shows. But Passion Pit made the return to Houston after a really long time, and they were performing at White Oak Music Hall. And right before their show, things went wrong. So they posted a video, Gwen, that their equipment truck didn't arrive in time for the show, meaning all of their keyboards, synthesizers, because they're a very synth-oriented band, that unique sound, it didn't arrive. So they were going to have to do like a super stripped-down show. And that's when they went on Facebook and posted this video like, hey, we need help, Houston. Can you source this musical equipment for us? And guess what? That Houston spirit, that Houston strong spirit came up big. They were able to find most of the equipment and put on a show.
Oh, I love that. Shout out to the Houston synthesizer community, for really showing up. But I mean, I think we are very generous people.
Yeah.
We show up for our neighbors, and that includes indie rock legends Passion Pit.
I'm so happy they were able to do their show. And I think they just had to make one call. Then that's the godfather of synthesizers, Mike Dean, who is H-Town's own. He is the famous producer for The Weeknd, Kanye West, so many others. He's the one that like really made that sound go mainstream. And I think they just had to make one call. They're like, hey, Mike, can you help us out? And he would have taken care of them. But nonetheless, it worked out. Shout out to Passion Pit. I'm glad they were able to perform, but maybe they got to come back for a real show with all of their equipment. And then I'm going to go. And then you got to join too, because we got to rock out.
Yeah, I'll show up.
Yeah.
Here's a little Mike Dean fact for you since you brought him up. Mike Dean, one of the first artists that he ever worked with when he was a teenager, was Selena. He
What?
has done a few, he's done a few interviews over the years. My colleague Jamil David wrote this up the other day, but he collaborated on her very early records as like one of his first production jobs. I believe it was Selena y los Dinos. He did some production work for it.
That is amazing. I had no idea. I'm going to read that story. I'm also going to link it if people are interested to learn more about Mike Dean and learn about Passion Pit. I'll link their video as well. What a way to connect both stories. That is wild, Gwen. Okay, I've got one more, only in H-Town. Things are always happening at Bush Airport, wild stuff. But over the weekend, a passenger was arrested at Bush Airport. I'm already laughing because this is so unbelievable. Because as soon as the plane landed, the passenger started to open the door, like attempting to open the door. It happened around 6:30 p.m. The flight was arriving from Indianapolis and taxiing to the gate. And the passenger was unsuccessful in opening the door, but everyone had to be transported off of the plane by bus to the terminal.
Yeah.
We don't know why this passenger did it, but yeah, that is only in H-Town. I don't know what happens as soon as you land. You just start wilding out.
I think we've all felt this way before. You know, you're stuck on the plane, you're trying to get off, you're like, I'm really ready to get off. Maybe your friend is at baggage claim, but yeah, don't do this.
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
And by the way, the slides were deployed as well. And that's why everyone had to get off and the buses had to come and get them to the terminal. Like, come on, please don't do that. Just wait, just relax, take a deep breath. I know there are unruly passengers, but this is such a wild story.
It feels a little bit like people are wilding out on planes more than they used to.
Yeah, I think we just see it a lot more. Luckily, everything is okay, but only in H-Town will a passenger just try opening the door before the plane is even taxied. Gwen, that was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us. And check out Gwen's work with the links in our show notes. Gwen, can't wait to have you back on. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Again, that was Gwen Howerton. She's Chron.com's Texas culture reporter. All of the stories from today's conversation are linked in our show notes. Hey, help us grow the show by sharing this episode with 3 friends who drive on I-10. And for more Houston news, check out our daily newsletter at houston.citycast.fm. And a big shout out to Michelle S. on becoming our newest CityCast Houston neighbor. When you become a neighbor for just $10 a month, you will get a shout out on the podcast and newsletter as well. So do it right now at membership.citycast.fm. Thanks. That will do it for today. I'm Raheel Ramzanali. Thank you for listening, and please don't hit the Houston Avenue Bridge.